Hey guys, what's up? It's Aaron Flynn here, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 saddest moments on YouTube. Sometimes with YouTube channels or particular YouTubers, we can build an emotional connection as the viewer to said YouTuber or channel. We look at them as inspirations, friends, and to some people even family, and when these YouTubers or channels record a sad moment in their life or revolving around the content that they make, it hurts everyone, not just the content creator responsible for the videos. At number 10, we have PewDiePie, The Walking Dead Episode 5 Finale. So when PewDiePie was a bit of a smaller YouTuber, he played for the game The Walking Dead, developed by Telltale Games. This series mainly revolved around two characters, Clementine and Lee, and makes it so the player is able to develop an emotional connection to the character during the series. At the end of Season 5, Lee gets bitten by a zombie and slowly turns as the season progresses. At the end, we are hit by an upsetting scene of Clementine ending Lee's suffering, putting an end to a very strong relationship between two video game characters, making PewDiePie cry.
Oh, fuck that.
At number 9, we have Jacksepticeye's grandmother's story. Jacksepticeye was playing for the game known as Dragon Cancer. The game's setting reminded him of his grandmother's final moments and tells the story of how completely unaware she was of her surroundings because of the condition that she was in and the medication that she was on, which leads him breaking down into tears. Alongside that, at the end of the playthrough of the game, Jacksepticeye realizes that the entire game's story was the story of a real-life child that lost his fight with cancer.
This is sad because it reminds me of the last few days when my granny was alive. And she didn't die of cancer or anything, but she was locked away in like a hospital for the last few months of her life. And she didn't really recognize anybody anymore. She was super like aware of everything. Oh God, sorry, that's gonna sound terrible. She was super aware of everything, like her entire life and right up until she went into hospital. But as soon as she went into hospital and she was starting to get treated for I can't remember what it was she had something in her leg that spread through her body and affected her blood, but she was in hospital for a few months before she died and her mind just completely went. And I remember going in one time with my sister to see her, and we were talking to her, and my granny was like, "Is Sean gonna come in to visit us?" And I was sitting right next to her, and she didn't know who I was. And that was really sad. Again, she didn't die of cancer or anything, it's just reminding me of it. And I need to move on, or I won't be able to move on. For Joel Evan Green. J-E-G. Oh, he was real. I was really hoping all that time it wasn't real, that it was just a story.
At number 8, we have Markiplier's Draw My Life. At the beginning of Markiplier's Draw My Life, it sounds super positive and super happy. It really reflects his personality that he shows us within his videos. But this soon takes a turn for the worst once he begins to talk about his father who sadly passed away with cancer. Markiplier telling this story completely changes the tone of his Draw My Life video and is mentioned in some of his later videos, such as his milestone videos where he mentions how proud his dad would be of him.
But then, my father brought me some bad news. He put a piece of paper in front of me and just let me read it without saying anything. And I was a pretty smart kid, so I understood every word that it said, all the techno mumbo jumbo, but the main thing is that in basically big bold letters it said cancer, and the really bad kind of cancer. So that was a really tough time for me because I kind of lost sight of what I was doing. Everything seemed kind of clear to me before, but right now everything was kind of just getting away from me. I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to do, which was make video games. I wanted to do it. My dad didn't agree with me, but I thought that that was what I was going to do. However, I started to realize that games might not work, so I kind of put that off the table and focused on going to engineering. I was originally in civil engineering, but moved into biomedical engineering because they had a medical school program. But that didn't work out either. I didn't want to do that, so I flip-flopped back to engineering again, and then I thought, hey, if I'm going to do what I want to do, I got to do games, and I really couldn't decide what I was going to do with my life. I was kind of at a crossroads and just frustrated. Then, 1 year later, we were all home for summer, and my dad was getting pretty bad with cancer, and he wasn't himself anymore. But one morning, we were all woken up by my stepmom, Dee, screaming, and we went downstairs to see that my dad was dying. And the last words that he said to me were, "I love you so much."
At number 7, we have Tomska, Ed's World video. Tomska is the man responsible for the ASDF cartoon series. He used to work alongside his friend known as Ed, who was responsible for the animated series known as Ed's World. Tomska and Ed developed their friendship through their passion for animation. This passion was so strong, some of the best animated movies on YouTube are because of these two content creators. Sadly though, Tomska had to make a video known as My Friend Died, where he explains Ed's battle with cancer and how good of a friend he was to him.
Hey everyone. I want to make it clear right now that I don't want to be standing up in front of the camera, I don't want to be talking about this, and I don't want this to be a thing at all, but I need to talk about it because I can't talk about anything else until I have talked about this. So here goes. A few weeks back I released a video called Hellbound Promises, late at night on Saturday, and it talked about how a lot of my friends were in pain and suffering and it was affecting me creatively, but I was going to try and persevere and make more videos more regularly, you know. And one of the people I was talking about was my close friend and creative partner, Ed Gould. He is an animator and he created an animated series called Ed's World, which I'd been working on for, I don't know, 8 to 10 years. And, you know, you will have seen him on my channel a lot as well. And stuff, and he was my close friend, and he'd been battling cancer for, you know, he had cancer for the last 6 years, but he was really fighting it.
At number 6, we have Biggie2988's Draw My Life video. In this video, Biggie2988 goes over the story of his struggles as a child and his father passing away. Biggie tells us about his developing health problems as he was a child and how getting bullied at school didn't really help, and how his father became disabled, which really destroyed his well-being as a human being.
So my dad was almost always at work, and that left me alone with my mother, who was always sad all the time, and sometimes she'd get really angry and she'd scream at me, and that happened almost every day, and sometimes she'd hit me, and that happened every day too. But enough about that. My brother used to tell me that my dad was a pretty laid-back guy and he was kind of fun, but by the time I came around, all Dad liked to do was drink, and he liked to drink Pabst Blue Ribbon, and he drank like 20 or 30 of them a day, and that's pretty much all he did. And that's why if you ever meet me, you don't get to buy me a beer, you buy me a Mountain Dew instead. As a kid, I was always pretty much sick. Either it was my allergies or chicken pox or something going on, but I pretty much was always sick. And because I didn't get much physical activity, I also got really fat.
At number 5, we have Zuela, Sometimes It Just Gets Too Much. Zuela is a popular vlogging YouTuber who had somewhat of a mental breakdown, recorded it, and uploaded it to YouTube. I have a lot of respect for this video as it reminds her audience that just because she's a famous YouTuber who has a lot of subs, views, and money, it reminds everyone that famous people are still human.
I'm not too sure why I'm filming this. I think maybe because this is part of my day and I want you guys to know that I'm a real person and I'm not perfect and my life isn't perfect. And sometimes this all gets too much.
At number 4, we have Matthew Santoro's abuse story. Matthew Santoro was in an abusive relationship with the YouTuber known as Nicole Arbor, who mentally and physically abused him. Because of events that went on in the relationship, Matthew felt the need to speak to one of his friends about what was going down and how he felt about the entire situation, which was then leaked to Drama Alert for the entire world to hear about. This then led Matthew Santoro to make his own video raising awareness for male abuse.
No one wants to talk about it. But I'm making this video to tell you that you need to talk about it. Whether you're a man or a female, if somebody hits you, tell somebody.
At number 3, we have the death of Yuri Slayer. Yuri Slayer was a Call of Duty Zombies / Borderlands YouTuber who was a real inspiration to a lot of younger YouTubers today. He was close friends with Tom Syndicate and had 2 children. Unfortunately, he passed away due to drunk driving and being hit by a train that he tried to race. The truck was destroyed, he was on the news, and the world was just shocked whenever he passed away or they found out that he was dead.
Hello, this is Wicked Shrapnel. And I'm very sad to say that a good friend of mine, oh, I can't even say the words. A good friend of mine, Brian. Most people know him as Yote Slayer. Died in a car accident last night. He tried to beat a train.
At number 2, we have the Syndicate Project, Alec and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Alec was a young boy who was going through a battle with cancer, and at a Make-A-Wish Foundation, his only wish was to spend a day with the YouTube star known as Tom Syndicate. Tom spent the whole day with Alec, even gave him a helicopter ride, and spent as much time with him as possible to try to keep the kid as positive as possible while going through his battle with cancer. Sadly though, not that long ago, Alec passed away, which led to Tom making a video informing his viewer base of the tragic event.
Oh damn it, so I'm all emotional upset now because I got a bubble in my nose. Try that one again. I'm all emotional upset right now because I just did a video for Alec and his family because if you guys remember, I did a Make-A-Wish when I went to E3 2016 and I had the pleasure of going out there with Xbox and they organised me doing a Make-A-Wish. And the Make-A-Wish was to go and hang out with Alec for a day. He could choose to do anything he wanted in the world, like absolutely anything. He could have gone travel the world, he could have gone here, could have done that. But instead, Alec, who was fighting a battle with cancer, chose to spend his day with me. Now the day we spent with each other was absolutely amazing. We played video games, we hooked him up with a lot of Xbox swag, like we had a really good time, and like we hung out, and he was absolutely amazing kid. Like I loved him to pieces, and like honestly, you would never even have thought, like in the mindset he was in, that he was having the battles he was having with cancer, and like his parents were cool, everything was awesome, and I had a great time hanging out with him. I wasn't happy enough with the amount of time we spent with each other. I was like, right, I want to spend more time with this kid because he's absolutely amazing. Like, he'd rock in the Syndicate original swag. He'd live by the motto of life's too short, make the most of it. And he was just so tuned in to being this super cool kid. So the next day I organised us going on a helicopter flight, which if you guys saw in the vlog, I took his dad and me and Alec up in a helicopter. We flew all around Los Angeles and checked it all out from above, and he absolutely loved it and he absolutely enjoyed it. You know, he was telling me about, like, when we went for dinner, this drink that he has to drink, which is like beetroots and carrots and ginger, and it's to help him get better and flush out all the toxins in his body and stuff. And, you know, I promised him that I was going to drink one of these drinks if he made sure he drank them on a daily basis. And then that's why I made the video of me drinking it, because everyone was like, why are you drinking this fucking drink? And I did that because I promised Alex that I would do it, because he promised me he would drink them as well, and we stuck to our promise and we did it. And he was an amazing kid. Like, he was getting into making YouTube videos, he was doing vlogging, he was posting gaming videos, and you guys showed him so much support. Like, you guys really, thank you. Like, really, thank you for being such an amazing audience. You were there for Alec when you needed us. Like, we were watching his videos, we supporting him in his comments. Like, he'd text me being like, oh, I'm drinking this disgusting juice, or I'm doing this today, I'm doing that today, and I'd just always be interact with him. And then when I wasn't there and I was sleeping on the different time schedule zones, you guys were there for him as well. And it was awesome to know that as a community, we were there for each other. Like, you guys were there for me when I lost my grandma, and it was just, it's just crazy to think that, unfortunately, Alex has lost, man up, because Alex will be laughing at me. Alex lost his battle with cancer, like 3 days ago. And everyone, like his close friends, who messaged me telling me, and his parents messaged me, and everyone was asking why I wasn't talking about it, and out of respect for the family I didn't want to, and they gave me permission to be able to let you guys know that, unfortunately, he did lose his battle, and you know, now he's in a better place because he really wasn't in a good spot. So, like, thank you so much. And to anyone else who's out there going through any troubles like this, you know, just stay strong, be close with your family and everything like that. And if Alex's mum and dad are watching this, if you ever need anything or want anything, let me know. You've got my number. You can contact me. And, you know, it's just such a shitty situation. Like, how can people so fucking young get hit with such disgusting things in life? Because, like, Harry, I went and did my first ever Make-A-Wish with, you know, he ended up passing away. And then I did the next Make-A-Wish. And luckily they're still fighting fit and everything's good there, and then another Make-A-Wish and they're fighting fit and good. And then I met Alec. I genuinely thought that, like, even though it was really bad, like, because he was such a positive kid, I really thought he would just, like, some miracle make it through and just be a champion for the rest of his life. And fucking life fucking shot him in the foot. It's like, it's just not fair.
And in the number 1 spot, we have Tom Syndicate again, but talking about his grandmother passing away with motor neuron disease this time. This is just completely unexplainable. You have to watch it to really feel how genuine this clip of Tom explaining the situation is. You have to ignore the donation and follower notifications over the top of it, but if you just listen to what he's saying and how he says the things that he's saying, it really hits home.
I'm not a fucking wizard! But yeah, the whole point of this, guys, is to raise, you know, it's a crazy test, so I'm going to need your guys' help. If you didn't know, motor neuron is a disease that like, eats away at your muscles and your body and everything like this, and it just kills you. My grandma got diagnosed 3 years ago, and when she got diagnosed, it was like, she got diagnosed with something. It was like, okay,
I'm not a fucking
bad,
wizard!
but I didn't know how bad, like, on the people around it would be. Ethernet, thanks for subscribing, or internet, thanks for subscribing, welcome aboard. Like, we had no idea how bad it would be on the people around us. You know, like, especially, you know, husband, my granddad and everything, because her muscles just started to die. At first it was like her back muscles were going, so she was like hunched back over a little bit, you know, to start off with, which was awful. And then, you know, like we were trying to, and then she'd sit down and she always just felt comfortable when she was sat down, and she wanted to go out like bike riding and do stuff like this, and she just simply couldn't. And then we then started to notice that like her lip muscles were like going and her throat, so she couldn't really talk. So when she was talking, it sounded a bit like mumbling, but, you know, you could hear what she was saying. And the saddest thing about all of it, though, is that in her head, excuse me, she was all there, 110%. She had every memory she could think of. She had everything. She knew who was in front of her. She wasn't forgetful or anything like that. She wanted to do everything she could possibly do, but her body just wouldn't let her because it was shutting down around her. And it got to the point where she literally couldn't stand up. She couldn't grip her hands anymore or anything like that. She couldn't, you know, she couldn't talk, so we got one of the machines so she could, you know, use that to talk with, but she was old and getting used to getting used to something like that when you're old is not very good. So it was just really hard to do. Like, they got a stair lift in the house so she could walk up and down stairs, and as horrible as it is to talk about, like, her bowels started to go, because, you know, that's all muscles as well. So as her bowels went, she literally couldn't control any of that either. So it was just like, you know, it rendered her useless. Like, she couldn't go out in public or anything like that. Because of that fact, like, she just simply didn't know when she'd need the bathroom or something, and there was never any like stupid incidents if someone's gonna be rude and meant like talk about it like that. But there's never any incidents where we went out and she shat herself. I know it sounds funny to say that, but there was never like an incident like that, because she then just became like someone who just stayed indoors, and I'd always go around and see her. And the best thing about you guys especially is that when I started my job, you know, she knew about it and she knew it was going successful for me. But she never really knew how successful it was going until like towards the end. Like, she knew I was doing well, but then it's like I managed to meet her. As it went on, and my job progressed. You know, because she was getting worse as my job was getting better in a sense. Like, it was nice for her to see at least that before she passed that I'd made something out of myself. Because, you know, I went to school, did school, went to college, didn't really know what I wanted to be, and then I became like a YouTuber. And stuff like that, and she never really understood it. But then, like, over time, she was gradually understanding it. And then when I was taking it on as a full-time job and everything, she, like, you could see that she accepted towards the end. That she was like, "Well, I'm like really proud of you about what you've done and everything." And it was just dead good that, you know, she was there to be able to see it, because, you know, you hear a lot of people saying like, "I wish they were here to see what I've done and everything." And I was actually really happy that my grandma was around to be able to see that, because, man, it was awful. And the saddest thing is that before it went down, it's like, she actually she got pneumonia, and I think if I'm right in saying this, it was the pneumonia triggered the disease. It's so random, and the healthiest of people can have it, and it'll just hit you. It usually takes something to trigger it for you to be then, you know, to have it. So like for example, my grandma got pneumonia, and then once they got rid of that, she was still ill. So they was like, why is she still ill? So when they checked into it, they found out it was motor neuron. It doesn't run in her family or anything. No one's ever had it before. It just came from nowhere. So it was just like, what the hell could have caused it? You know, my granddad, obviously being an old man, was like, oh, it's the doctors, they've done something, they've given it to her and all that, and you know, they've caught it through doing this. And I was just like, you know, on the internet researching, I was like, Granddad, no, you haven't, mate. It's just, it can happen like this. Something can simply trigger it. And you know, he didn't want to accept it and everything. But when it happened, I don't know whether she fainted or fell over or something, because her muscles were so weak. But she went to the hospital, and my dad messaged me. Sorry, my mum messaged me, and she was like, "Your grandma's not well. She's in the hospital. Like, you've got to prepare yourself because she might not make it." And I was just like, how would she not make it? She's got 2 years to live, and it's been like 6 months or a year into it or something. And for some reason, all I could do was this. Don't think I'm being wrong here, but like, all I could do was like laugh inside at myself because I didn't think I could take the situation seriously. And as weird as it sounds, like I couldn't mentally prepare myself. Like I was like, I've never lost a relative, I've never lost anyone in my life or anything like that I've been around. So when it was like I was on the way to the hospital, I was like, what do I expect? Do I expect her hooked up to a load of wires and all that? And I'm just like, she'll be okay, you know, she's just gonna get through this patch or something. But then as I was getting more and more towards the hospital and like about to walk into the room, I was like, I wonder how I'm gonna feel, I wonder how I'm gonna see, because I've never seen someone in hospital in that state. And then when I got in there, my grandma was just hooked up machines everywhere, like breathing machines, everything like that. It was like the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. And she was just sat there in a bed, and she could see me, she knew me and everything. And she wasn't there and then about to pass away or anything, but it was like the saddest thing that I ever remember seeing. And then I was just like, fuck, you know, there's nothing I can do with all this success that I've done for my job. I can't save my grandma. So it was just like, fuck. So I prepared myself massively.
I'm not a fucking wizard!
To see her. And then I just couldn't handle it. Really. Couldn't.
I'm not a fucking wizard!
I'm a massive fucking crybaby now, but I don't really talk about it.
Go fuck yourself!
So, yeah, that was that.
Go fuck yourself!
Chicken's good, by the way. So, yeah. Oh, man. But like, it just got worse from there. Like, it just got worse, and then I got a phone call off my oh no, my dad came into my office when I was I think I'd even just stopped live streaming. I'd just finished making a video, and then my dad came in the room and said that sorry. It was just like, your mum's been on the phone, and my dad and my mum don't speak, so the fact that...
I'm not a fucking wizard!
At least that's light in the situation. So, the fact that my dad had spoke to my mum and found out that my grandma wasn't well, my dad was like, listen mate,
Go fuck yourself!
your grandma's really bad. There's ambulances around there. And,
I'm not a fucking wizard!
this might be the last time you see her. So, literally, got round as quick as I could. There was an ambulance outside, there was paramedics upstairs, ran straight upstairs, just to see her. Like,
go fuck yourself!
if she would have passed away, if
if she would have passed away without seeing me, I would have never lived with myself. So
Go fuck yourself!
I went upstairs as quick as I could. I just looked at her. There was paramedics everywhere, and she still was awake. I could still see her.
Go fuck yourself!
She saw me, and I was just happy that she saw me. And then I knew I needed to get out the room because they needed the space.
I'm not a fucking
Went
wizard!
downstairs whilst they were doing it. And then they came downstairs and said she's gone unconscious. After I'd gone downstairs.
Go fuck yourself!
Sorry.
Go fuck yourself!
So she'd gone unconscious, and
Go fuck yourself!
I was just like, fuck. So all the family was just panicking, like wondering what they could do to help her. And then they said they were going to take her outside to the ambulance.
I'm not a fucking wizard!
Take her outside to the ambulance and see like what they could do is if they could use a machine in there to resuscitate her.
I'm not a fucking wizard!
They had to carry her downstairs, and she was gone. She was just completely gone. She
Go
was
fuck yourself!
completely gone. And it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. She was just completely.
I'm not a
100%
fucking
gone.
wizard!
They were trying to hold her back, and her head was just falling all over the place. Like she was completely gone. And I
Go
just
fuck
knew there and
yourself!
then that I'd lost my grandma, and I saw her for the last time with like tubes stick down her throat, everything like that. And that was the last time I saw her.
I'm not a fucking
They
wizard!
took her into the van, and then they just, they said they were taking her to the hospital, but she was gone. I knew it. Everyone knew it. She knew she was gone. There
Go
was
fuck
nothing they could
yourself!
do. And even if she was watching Downton Abbey, a favourite show, she was watching that.
Go fuck yourself!
Such a shitty thing. But I saw her before she passed away, which I was pretty stoked about.
I'm not a fucking wizard!
Imagine if I would have gone, oh, I'm just finished my live stream or something like that. I wouldn't have seen her. And if I wouldn't have run upstairs, I wouldn't have seen her either. And it was just
I'm not
scary
a
that
fucking
between the gaffer
wizard!
being up there and seeing her eyes open and seeing her to seeing her on the stairs and gone was just horrible. And then we just went.
Go fuck
downstairs and
yourself!
actually, he just said, "There's nothing we can do." So.
Go fuck yourself!
That's about that, really. So, like the fact that this disease exists and you can't.
Go fuck
do anything
yourself!
about it. Like the scary thing now is, sometimes if someone's mum or family member gets it, it can
Go
become
fuck yourself!
genetic if it's hidden in like your genes and stuff like that. Because you can't really see it until it appears and stuff. So like now the scary thing is like, does my mum or dad have? Does
Go
my
fuck
mum have it?
yourself!
Therefore, if my mum has it, do me and my sister have it? And it's like, hopefully not. But it's just one fuck of a disease, man. It just kills you. It like, if you have
Go fuck
cancer,
yourself!
and it's absolutely terrible. But they can try things to try and save you. There's chemotherapy. There's all sorts of things to try and save it. And I know some cases it's just not possible.
I'm not a
At least you
fucking
can
wizard!
almost try and get through certain things to try and beat it, but not motor neuron, man. Not motor neuron. It fucking eats you. And it
I'm
kills
not a
you. It spits your
fucking
body out.
wizard!
Whilst you're there with your mental state and there's nothing you can do about it. So, like, I just remember being with my grandma and she'd just be sat there because she couldn't move.
Go
And I'd
fuck
just have
yourself!
conversations with her and just treat her normally rather than be like, are you okay, okay, just to speak to her normally because that's what she wanted. And, yeah, that's that.
Go fuck
So,
yourself!
apart from being a massive pansy and being a wimp, that's that. It's my grandma.
Go fuck
I do
yourself!
anything. I said I give up my everything. I give up my YouTube. I give up my house. I do everything, man. I give every aspect of my life.
Go fuck yourself!
To have had a back, not even just to have a back, because she would still be in a bad state. I'd do anything. I'd do anything for it to have been cured or not.
Go fuck yourself!
Like it's just horrible. She was great. My grandma would be fucking stoked now. She'd seen I've been alright. I've managed to get a house for myself and stuff like that. Like I moved into my own house when I was like.
Go fuck
20.
yourself!
But she didn't get to see it, so whatever. Fuck it.
I'm not a fucking
Chicken's
wizard!
cold now anyway, so yeah, that's motor neuron. It's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad. So
Go fuck
you know,
yourself!
even if we raise all this money for charity, it's great that we can raise it, but it won't cure it. I know it won't cure it.
I'm
but
not a fucking
at least
wizard!
it's the little thing that I can help and do towards. So yeah, mountain neuron disease is a cunt. There you go.
But anyway guys, that's going to be it for this top 10 video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below, and you want to see more top 10 videos like this, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.